What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, turn on your post notifications. Today we got a I would say a high taper, number 2 on the sides. Well, what we have is actually 1.5 up to a 2 on the ridge. So we're gonna do a 1.5 all the way around and ball this out, get it nice and smooth, nice and even. Then I'm gonna open the lever all the way and attack the ridge of the hair and knock that out before we get to the bulk of the hair on the top. So it's going to be a 1.5 on the sides, 1.5 open up to the ridge. And after we do that, we're going to get to the taper work. But right now we're just making sure that our canvas is clean, that we make sure we can see what we're working with before we actually get to the actual fade work with the high tapers on the side and the high taper on the back. Now, as you can see here, this isn't going to be a bit of a difficult haircut. You know, it's pretty simple, pretty plain and dry, cut and dry on how we do it, but there's just little details here that could help somebody out. You know, I'm not too sure what type of people are watching the YouTube channel, whether you're a beginner, you know, advanced barbers, been in the game for a long time, been in the game a short time, want to think about getting in the game. But right now we're just balling out using the TPLB X trimmer and getting that nice and smooth. This X trimmer will get it down and knock out that stubble nice and smooth. So right after this, we're gonna go ahead and get that lever open. We're using the TPLB Troll Clipper Jayblends edition that is set to be releasing at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. It's just a humbling experience to be able to have my own clipper. So make sure you go out and support your boy. Now, after we do that open section, we are going to close the lever all the way, start to fade up, close the lever slightly, fade up, close the lever slightly, fade up until we have that area completely blended out. Now you can see here it is getting nice and buttery. This clipper does have the ability to be zero gapped, so that's what I did with this clipper here. I am using the TPLB single magnetic guards for this haircut, if you are wondering what I will be using for the guard system. Now, after all this is knocked out, want to make sure that we keep it nice and detailed. We're going to throw that one guard on there, lever closed, and create another panel of hair to fade into. Now, my client does have some indentions on his head and some areas that are going to be hard to get around, but we will knock this out, and I will give you a little bit of tips to make sure that this area is nice and blended. Now, after we do that, we are going to take our half guard, lever closed, then we're going to begin to lever play and get this area knocked out. So I'm going to open the lever slightly, fade up, open the lever slightly, fade up until this area is completely blended. And we're just going to follow these steps until we have a good blend going, until it's nice and smooth. I want to make sure we stretch the skin in the areas that we need to in order to get into those indented areas. As you can see here, it is coming out nice and smooth. The blend is working out well. The blade on this clipper is just, it puts out butter blends without any effort at all. So make sure that you are paying attention to these types of things with different clients, and how you could have different hurdles to get around, to make sure that you pay attention to those things. Make sure you're paying attention to your client's scalp. Make sure you pay attention to any, you know, things that may deter you from putting out the best possible work you can. Now you can see here we got that gray color scheme on that clipper. It's looking very nice. So we'll just go ahead and make sure that we get this all worked out. And I am taking my time, and we are showing this in real time for the blending portion of the haircuts, because I want to show you what difficulties may arise and what we have to do to get around those difficulties. So you can see here I'm stretching the skin so I can get that area blended. Now, there are going to be some darker areas, some more dense areas that we will attack with a different technique later on in this video. But now I have that one guard on, lever playing, and because we did a 1.5 on the side towards the bottom half of this fade, all we have to do is take a one guard and fade into that 1.5 that's already on the side. Right here, we're just opening the lever slightly, fading up, opening the lever slightly, fading up until we get that hair completely blended. Now you can see the way that I turn the blade. As you can see, the hair grows in different directions, so you want to make sure that you are taking your guard and going against the grain of the hair to make sure that you get it as even as possible. Make sure that you always have a brush in hand and you're brushing, fading to make sure that the hair is laying down properly where it needs to lay and it is properly getting cut. And I am consistently doing that with this haircut to make sure that we get it even. Now, paying attention to these little details is what's going to separate you from the next barber. It's what's going to help you excel in this career field, and it's what's going to help clients keep coming back to your chair and keep wanting to get a haircut. Now, after we do this, we are just going to keep detailing this haircut until I think that we can get done with the clip work and get on to the next thing. Now, one of the things that was difficult was those indentions and that were in my client's head, but we got that 1.5 guard on there. Now I'm just tightening up at that bulk area and just using that 1.5 guard lever close and opening it slightly, fading up until we get this area knocked out, like I said. Now I just go over this area constantly to get it as blended as possible. You know, some people may have, you know, would let the client just walk out like that and hey, the client's done, the haircut's done, that's good enough for me. But for me, my clients are a walking billboard. This client right here is going to be around a bunch of people once he leaves the shop. Everybody's going to see his haircut, so I want to make sure that I put out the best possible work as possible. So I'm going to detail even more using some shear over comb technique with the TPOB thinning shears. Now these shears right here are super sharp. They get the job done, and they are, you know, very inexpensive. So go check them out at the TPOB website. Use code Jayblends to save yourself 50% off on the website. But right here, I'm just attacking those darker areas, those more dense areas to get this completely blended. Now after that, I am going to ball down on the side taper. We're getting all that facial hair knocked out. All he does keep is the goatee. So we knock everything out while we have the trimmer in hand, and we make our balled out zero line. And this is going to be a high taper, so there will be no curves, no hooks, no C-cups, whatever you want to call it. All we will have is going to be the vertical bar on the front edge up. After I do that, we will have the lever open, no guard. And this is just creating a first panel of hair to fade into. Once we do that, we close the lever and we begin to fade up. Open the lever, slightly fade up, open the lever, slightly fade up until we have this area completely blended out. Another thing about this clipper is that it does have the click system. It has a 5-click system, so you're able to know where you're at with the fade. That click system really helps you if you're a beginner barber to remember where you're at in the haircut, remember where you're at with the fade or taper that you're doing. It's very helpful having a click lever system. I know a lot of older barbers in the game would prefer rather to have just a no click lever system, a floating lever. But for me, the click lever helps a lot. It just constantly reminds me where I'm at, especially when doing YouTube tutorials or videos where, you know, I have to do something else besides the haircut. So it's just a very helpful tool to have that click lever system. Now I got that the half guard lever open, and we're creating another panel of hair to fade into. And after we do so, you already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna close that lever, fade up, open the lever, slightly fade up, open the lever, slightly fade up until we have that area completely blended out. And this is a system that I follow constantly with every haircut that I do. Every fade, low fade, high taper, low taper, medium taper, whatever blend work we have to do, this is the process that I will follow majority of the time for my haircuts. So you can see here we're brushing the hair, laying it down, fading up, brushing down, fading up. And this is just going to ensure the best possible detailed cut that you could possibly have. Now after we do that, we got the 1 guard lever open, we're fading up. We're creating a panel of hair to fade into. Close the lever, and we're going to begin to lever play until we have this area completely knocked out. Now like I said, we have that 1.5 guard lever open towards the ridge of the hair, and we have the 1.5 guard on the side. So this 1 guard will fade into that 1.5 lever open, but we will have to get to that 1.5 guard lever open to fade out up to the ridge of the hair. And also lever close around the ear right here, just to get this area a lot more soft, a lot more even, a lot more blended, and that's what we're doing here. Now everything that I am doing to the left side, we will repeat to the right side, and I will time lapse that because there's no use in just replaying the same thing over. So everything that we do to the left side, we will do to the right side, and I will use the shear over comb thinning shears technique on this side as well, to get that area towards the corner of the edge up a little bit more blended. His hair grows a lot more dense in areas. You know, I don't want to say it's patchy, but there are patches that grow more thicker than other areas of his head. So these are little things that you have to pay attention to with your clients. Like I said, a lot of times we won't have the most perfect canvas. Sit down in a chair, there's going to be a lot of different fallacies in the hair that we will see, that we will have to maneuver around, and this is just an everyday client that we will get in the chair. So you want to make sure you are paying attention to that. And right here, I'm just going to the darker areas and just lining it up with the thinning shears until we get those areas completely blended out. Now once we get that done, you can see it's looking nice and blurry. The blend is coming together, look like butter smeared on his head, and then we get to the opposite side, which we will time lapse here. Now once again, like I said, I am going to be having a TPOB Influencer Edition clipper releasing late September, so make sure you are stay tuned to my Instagram at Jayblends_. Make sure you stay tuned to the Thepissedoffbarber Instagram at Thepissedoffbarber to get all the information on when that is dropping. It will be dropping on Amazon for, I believe, $100 or less. So just stay tuned for that. I'm completely humbled to have that opportunity, but now we will get to the front edge up. I'm just going to be doing some hairline prep. We have the one guard lever closed, going with the grain on the edge up portion and tapering that edge up out so we can get it a little bit less hair in that area to edge up. It creates a cleaner look when you get all those stragglers out the way and have a very nice hairline prep completed before you do the edge up. Now once you do that, we will do the edge up. We're going to edge at the nape first and around the ear. We have the TPOB X trimmer with the Psycho blade. This blade is right out the box, and you can see how it's hidden already. Mike Tyson in his prime with this blade right here. I'm going to go ahead and get around the ear, and it's just a a tap and go type trimmer. It's a debulking trimmer. It's an all-around trimmer. If you have not seen my unboxing of this trimmer, go check that out. I did unbox the Slime Green X trimmer in the previous video, and right now we're just balding out around that area with the mini skull shaver. Now this single fold shaver is perfect for tight areas like this and little detail work, and balding out all around the head if you need to. But right here we're edging up the opposite side of the head. Like I said, what we do to one side, we do to the other to maintain that symmetry using the X trimmer. This trimmer by far is the best trimmer I have used ever. I've used the Cyborg, I've used the Sabres, I've used the Cocos. Any trimmer that's out there I have used, and this right here hands down takes the cake. I wouldn't use any other trimmer behind my station. And if you have not seen my comparison video between the X trimmer, the Coco, and the Sabre, check that video out as well. I do a side-by-side comparison of all three trimmers together, and just give you guys the information, give you guys the analytics, the statistics, so everything and how it performs behind the chair. Now we're just balding out using that mini skull shaver once again, and next thing we're going to do is going to be the front edge up with the X trimmer, get it nice and crispy, and we will be laying down some enhancements in this video after we get this edge up portion done. Now my client does have a lighter edge up, but you can see where it is edged up. This trimmer is getting it nice and crisp. Like I said, very sharp blade. This blade is uncomparable to anything in the market right now. This thing is an absolute hitter. I can continue to go on how great this trimmer is, but you can see it doing the work right here. You can see it doing the work in this video. And after this, we will be laying down some color enhancement. Like I said, I do use the Kiss Temptation spray. It's just an easier, more convenient spray to use behind the chair. I have the Sean Kater Tune 45 color card, which is a barrier for the color so it doesn't get all over the face. Just keeps it in a direct area that you need the color enhancement to lay. Now I will say with this color enhancement, it does take some trial and error to get used to using. It does have a high velocity spray, so you have to learn how to finesse the spray in order to get a lighter, more realistic enhancement done. But as you can see here, we're brushing it out and just kind of blending that color enhancement into the hair. And you can see here it's very realistic, very not heavy. But we're going to lay down some razor work now using our Rio Min razor holder with the raw and uncut razors in the actual cartridge. And we're making sure that we pull the skin the opposite direction of which the blade is going to make sure that we have the smoothest shave, the closest shave possible for our client. But as you can see here, that taper is coming out nice and buttery, nice and blurry, if you will, like everybody in the barber game says. If you found something informational from this video, drop it down in the comments below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and make sure you have those turned. I'm messing this up here. Make sure you turn on your post notifications to be notified of any future videos to come. But there is the final product of the cut. Make sure you go follow me on Instagram at Jayblends_. Go follow the Thepissedoffbarber at Thepissedoffbarber. Go check out his website, thepissedoffbarber.com. Use code Jayblends to save yourself 15% off on all of your purchases at the website. But until next time, God bless.